Hi, this is Sebastian KB0TTL, and it was another wonderful weekend at the Dayton Hamvention, and yes, I did have the privilege of attending this year. I was actually returning from a work trip and just barely caught the tail end of Friday night, and I'm glad I did because, as you know, if you go to the Dayton Hamvention, Friday is the day to go in and get all the bargains. It's where you could scoop up all the cool stuff before the vendors sell out, and this year was no exception. So I came rolling on in around 3:50 p.m., and it was about an hour and 10 minutes before the place closed. And I managed to pick up just a couple of things here. Just a few things, as you can see in the picture here. A few more things that I'm sure the wife would be enthused about, but we won't go into that. Managed to go through some of the vendor booths in some of the buildings, first of all, and managed to score the very last of the Zygu G90s. And they were practically giving them away there at the Radiodity table. They were going for about $350 this year. So those things normally retail for about $450, $475. So if you're picking these up at $350, yep, you're practically stealing them. And I managed to walk out to the vendor markets, and I picked up this little Kenwood TS50 that I intend to do some Pota on. And I've actually heard these things have a pretty hot receive to them. So I can't wait to test this out in the Pota field. And it was a bargain as well. Only sent me back about another $300. So can't complain about that. Got another new little toy here to play with. And then the last thing I picked up on Friday as I was heading out was this 34-foot Alpha Antennas whip. And you guessed it, it was one of the last ones they had there at the table. So got lucky on all three of these items. I would not have been able to obtain them had I waited till the next morning to show up to the Hamvention. And of course, if you're into parks on the air like I am, you know the nightlife around Hamvention is just wonderful. And there's a couple of parks right there in Dayton, Ohio, that are just a few miles from the fairgrounds. And I was able to go to one, the Great Council State Park. It's a newer state park. Looks like it opened in the last year and a half or so. And when I got there, I immediately ran into the Ham Radio 2.0 guy who was just finishing up an activation. And there were a couple other activators there. And just as I was finishing my Parks on the Air activation there at the park, in pulls Pota Power. So I had a chance to chat with the guys from Pota Power for a while. And got a chance to see what they were operating. Got a chance to see their nifty Go box here, as you'll see here in this little video clip that's playing in the background. And they were actually doing pretty well on 20 meters for down band conditions. And before they showed up, I was doing pretty well on 20 meters myself. And they handed me this little QRP cube, which is a little 49-to-1 in-fed antenna for a QRP, little souvenir that they hand out to some of their fans, and managed to snag me one. I can't wait to get back and try this out on my FT817 back at home. And definitely appears to be the makings of a cool little multi-band antenna. If that's what they use, I guess I can't go wrong with it. And of course, you can't beat free. And of course, as I came back to Hamvention the next day, I was just picking up a few odds and ends, and I was seeing what the vendors still had at their tables, and I really wanted to score one of those little QMX Pro QRP rigs, but when I got to the table, they were all sold out of the QMX Pro, so I will have to go ahead and order that online like everybody else. But again, I did not quite get the chance to pick one of those up on Friday in the whole hour and 10 minutes that I was there. I did manage to score from PowerWorks this new Anytone UV890. And as some of you know, I do have quite a bit of past dealings in the field of DMR using the older Anytone UV878 and a bunch of other little Anytone or similar handhelds, as well as the 578. So this was just the next natural step in the progression as I would like to kind of get back into DMR. Kind of got away from it for a few years. Did primarily HF, but I would like to get back into the DMR world. And you can't do better than the UV890, as apparently when this next firmware version comes out, this thing will be able to do NXDN. And I actually ran into Jeremiah, Whiskey 9 Juliet Alpha Mike, who's one of the current pros in the field of DMR, and he was going over some of the features of this rig with me, and I must say it is completely impressive compared to the older Anytone now 168 or 878 models. And of course, no trip to Hamvention is complete without picking up a few stickers, a few patches, and a few things to adhere to the new Pota box or bag. So picked up a little smattering of those as well. And then on the way out of town, I hit another park. This time it was the Buffalo Soldiers National Monument. And when I got in there, lo and behold, there was another person in there already activating. And 20 meters was kind of a mess, so I got the idea to go ahead and pull out my Radtel RT950 Pro and get on the 2-meter calling channel and see if I could scare up a few contacts. And for the first time ever, I actually made 11 2-meter contacts at a park. I usually solely do HF, but this time I gave 2 a try, and 2 paid off, as there was a bunch of people exiting the Hamvention, going down the road, listening to that frequency, and managed to do a full activation's worth there on 2. Then I switched over to 20 and made a few contacts on the 20-meter band, although the band was kind of feeble with the sunspot cycle that's going on here. And that concluded my trip to the 2026 Hamvention in Dayton, Ohio. And just remember, like I said, if you want the bargains, you gotta show up Friday. Well, I'm going to say 7-3 for now. And again, this is KB0TTL.